All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna try to do a fire pit and a small seating wall today. Just here in the pickup. It's early. Sun's not even quite up yet. It's starting to come up. Look at that. It's awesome. I love watching sunrises anymore. It's an older person thing, I guess. But we have a patio underneath here. We didn't pour the concrete, obviously, but I did make a form. Sit you guys here. Got you on life support. Let's see what we got. I haven't seen it since they poured it. We'll see what we got. Well, I'll show you guys. I can feel my form that I made in there. I'll show you guys the form. I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea. This is the first time I've done it. Let's get this one covered. This has been poured for quite a while. Or well, not quite a while, for a couple, 2 or 3 days. It's really cold. That's why the blankets are on here. And that's my form I made. So what I did is I screwed these 2 boards together to keep it together. I made handholds in it, and then I made these deals here to where they could put concrete pins in it. Looks like they use rebar, which is fine. I'll have to see. I didn't bring a bunch of tools, but I've got these pieces in here for spacers, and there's a screw in here holding the spacers in. But my thought was I've got a gap. Oh, little piece of rebar trying to take me out. I've got a gap in here. You can kind of see. So my thought was I can unscrew my boards. I can pull the rebar out now. And when I unscrew these little tabs, my thought was I could probably get that to scooch in, and then I can pull it out. My consumable part is right there. That may or may not come off of the concrete. I'm hoping it will. But it's just expansion, like concrete expansion joint. So I got to get a hammer. I got to get my little drill. I didn't think about my little drill that I keep in my truck. It's not very big and powerful. I'm hoping it pulls those long screws out. I got like some 3-inch screws in there. But let me get a hammer to pull the nails and the rebar and see if I can get that stuff out, and we'll get this going. So I'll probably do some time lapse getting this apart, and then I'll show you the finished product on normal videos. So we're on life support because it's cold outside. Time lapse will kind of help hold my battery a little bit, so I apologize for some time lapse stuff, but we'll see what happens. Hang out. Well, I don't know if it's because I'm out of shape or because it's like 30 degrees and I'm out here like muscling this together. I put my hood up because I didn't want to get sick being so cold. But I would say that's a relative success with being able to reuse that form. I knew my expansion on the outside would probably be a consumable, but it looks like I could probably run new screws in it and be done. I kind of blasted through the plywood. I just used 1/2-inch plywood on it. What I'd probably do next time is maybe use 3/4, but I was going for the thickness we needed, and you know, for the expansion and everything else to make it easy. Sorry I'm breathing heavy, but I would say that is a success. So if you guys ever do fire pits and you inset them into a patio, you know, here, let's see, we probably have some here, a joint. Well, they finished that off and you probably won't see that joint. I don't know where that expansion starts. They might actually have it, well, I don't know. They did a pretty good job on that one, because see, that plywood, that siding goes inside. Well, when you strip that form, you always have that weird little bump, and especially this is a 59-inch circle. I don't remember, I think I made it 59 or 60-inch around. I made the form for the flatwork guys. One thing, we probably don't need 2-foot-long rebar going in it. That was fun to get out, because you can't like beat it and loosen it up. It's in a pretty tight hole. I put some holes in there so they could pin it, and my thought was is if they used a regular concrete pin, they could put it right in there, and then I could put a nail in the holes and pull it out. It was kind of hard to get the rebar out, especially that long. But as you know, if you have a flatwork guy make you a circle, it's always going to have that weird little bump, and then it's not going to be concentrically round. So I wanted to try this. I wanted to try to make it to where I could, you know, have a form, because most of my fire pits are a 58-inch fire pit, and a lot of times people want me to inset them into concrete like that, and it's always hard to make it look good because of that little reveal, that little perimeter. And this is pretty clean. I mean, I can clean that up with a grinder. Looked like they had a little bit of something there, and honestly that won't even look bad, because I'm going to put polymeric sand around the fire pit, and then I'll either leave the sand or I'll leave it down about an inch, 1/2 inch, something, and I'll put Volcom in it. A lot of times on patios I'll put polymeric sand in it, and then you go get a product called Volcom, and they have some self-leveling Volcom. It works extremely well. I can tool caulking pretty good because a buddy of mine does windows, Jim. And back in the day, I used to help him in the winter when I, you know, didn't do snow or whatever, and I didn't have work. So I'd go work with him in the winter to have something to do. I can tool caulking pretty dang good. Even for a glass guy, which I'm not, I can tool caulking pretty good. But that self-leveling, it's legit. When you put it in, it kind of flows out nice. And if you look at like big commercial properties that have like the rubberized joint in the concrete that's concrete color, it's a good possibility that's Volcom. But a lot of times I'll put polymeric sand around it to fill it up, and that'll be my you know, second source of sealer. And then I'll actually put Volcom around the outside, let it flow out real nice. It self-levels. It's elastomeric, so it'll flex. It doesn't have a problem with the heat, because this one's going to have a ring in it because it's going to be a fire burner. Anyway, so this may be a way that you need to start making your fire pits in a concrete patio, your fire pit ring. Boy, I tell you, everybody thinks being a business owner is amazing because you can do what you want whenever you want and all that. Well, I got news for you. It's not that way most times. So all I've gotten done today is we brought the skid loader and the bucket and the forks out. I was going to set a fire pit. I was going to set a seating wall. I went down to my supplier, and they had some cool looking benches set up, made out of some irregular Belvedere steps and stuff like that, I thought I want to put those out there because that'd be pimp. They've been down there for a while. Haven't really seen anybody do that stuff before around here. They've had it on display for a long time. But anyway, so long story short, I haven't gotten anything done. It's 1 o'clock. I just ate lunch. Machine's here. The only thing I am going to get done... Oh, no. I got the forms pulled. So we'll probably put this with the forms video or something like that. I made me a form for a fire pit. It'll be at the beginning of this video. So now I'm just going to haul gravel back to the back. We're going to get gravel in the hole. That'll give the builder the opportunity to get the concrete stained, because he wants to stain the concrete. Because I had to order this material, it's going to take a couple weeks to get it. Sweet. All right. Well, we're going to take some gravel back to the back, and we're going to get it smoothed out to where we're ready to set the fire pit. They have the fire pit in stock. I just didn't want to put half of it in, not all of it in. He kind of thought he was going to stain the concrete, so he's going to stain the concrete. Just works out. I told him, get all the material. I'll come back down. Drove down there, ready to load up, and didn't load up because I changed my mind. And then they didn't have what I wanted. Anyways, figure I'd share. We're going to jump in the machine, take a little bit of that gravel back to the back, and we need to fill a window well up too, but let's get at it. outside, and I did not need a full bucket, it didn't look like. Such a big hole in the middle of the fire pit? Well, that's a pretty good question. I have no idea. I made that form to be as thick as a slab of concrete, so he could have very easily just graded that all out with gravel. Instead, I think he pinned it up and then he put gravel around it. I don't know. It's just things that you have to deal with when you go behind somebody else. It's just part of it. But I've got the fire pit and the wall material. It's sitting there ready to go. I'm waiting on some other stuff that's gonna make this really pop. It's gonna be really cool looking. So it's gonna be a couple weeks before we get this done. But I didn't want I didn't want to have a bunch of footage sitting around for nothing. So we might make a video about this stuff. I think that form worked out really good for making that the fire pit area and the patio nice and round. Let me get my rock cleaned up here, but I would say that is definitely reusable. I need to fix some of the expansion joint on the outside. I kind of hit it with a hammer a little too hard right there and hit a soft spot, but easily repairable. What I might do is I might put like another piece of plywood around the outside perimeter, so if I do need to hit it like that. But I have another design that I'm going to work on also. I've got another idea for it, so I'm going to get this little bit of rock cleaned up. We'll get this dirt and stuff off of there, but I'm going to get all the rock kind of pulled into there. I don't have a come along with me. I got a shovel, but I guess that's a little bit of work we got done with the 75. I'm going to grab the forms and run them back home with me and put them on the shelf. Maybe fix them up so they're ready to go so I don't have to fix them next time. And we'll see you guys later. Hopefully you hang out and wait for the next video of us putting a fire pit and some seating out here. I'm not going to give it away, but I've got some pretty cool seating that we're going to put around the outside here. So it's going to be pretty cool. See you guys.